All right, 6th graders, you got this packet already, grade 6, writing and language. Your student at home activity packet 3 for this week. This week only, you are going to be doing part 1, entry 1, part 1, part 2. We're going to go to part 1 of entry 2 and entry 2, part 2. So the first 2 entries is what we are doing. And then I will go to the page. It's not the page. All right, your first one is a journal entry. During recent events, we have been asked to think of the needs of others. Think about a lesson you have learned by putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Write to explain the lesson you've learned. All right, typical, you got your journal entry. You're going to write, I would like you to fill in at least half of the page, please. More would be nice. Really dig in deep to this journal. Alright, so your part 1s are always going to be a journal, and your part 2s are going to be the language arts lesson. So we are doing reflexive and intensive pronouns. Reflexive and intensive pronouns are pronouns that end in self or selves. They refer back to a noun or another pronoun in the same sentence. So they can be singular or plural. So singular is myself, plural ourselves, yourself, yourselves, himself, herself, itself, themselves. Okay. A reflexive pronoun is an object pronoun that refers back to the subject and is important to the meaning of the sentence. If you leave out the reflexive pronoun, the sentence will not be clear. Jake was mad at himself for dropping the ball during the game. So if we put Jake was mad for dropping the ball at the game, we're not really sure who he was mad at. But we added he was mad at himself, so that clarifies the sentence. An intensive pronoun can be used to emphasize or intensify a noun or pronoun. If you leave out the intensive pronoun, the sentence will still make sense. I, myself, thought it wasn't his fault. His teammates themselves agreed. So if we left them out, I thought it wasn't his fault. His teammates agreed. It still makes sense. We still know who they are talking about. All right. Guided practice. Again, left side, there's hence. Cross out the incorrect pronoun or pronouns in each sentence, then write the correct form above the incorrect one. All right. So, my family and myself were excited to see my brother's first ball game. My family and me I lied, it's not me. My family and I were excited to see my brother's first ball game. He, itself, was nervous about how he would play. So what's the correct form of this? Okay, so we're going to go through and cross out the incorrect pronoun or pronouns in each sentence, right? So 1 to 7. Give you an example. Ben and I played, not Ben and myself played. And then you have numbers 1 to 4. Which pronoun should replace the underlined pronoun to make the sentence correct? And number 4, which revision uses a reflexive or intensive pronoun correctly? Then you're going to try it, reread what you wrote in part 1, so for your journal, and check that you have used reflexive pronouns correctly. Then try to add one intensive pronoun in your response. So that is mainly for Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh no, I lied. That's just Tuesday. Alright, so Wednesday and Thursday, you got another journal. Different animals are known for different personality types. For example, a mule is known for being stubborn. What animal best represents your personality? Write to explain which animal and why. I love this journal entry, and I'm very excited to see what you guys come up with for what animal best represents your personality. When you're done with this journal entry, please send it to me. I would love to see it. And in turn, when you send me yours, I will send you mine. I'm sure you all have some guesses as to what animal best represents my personality. Alright, and then your language arts lesson is correcting vague pronouns. Pronouns help writers to avoid repetition, but when a pronoun is vague or unclear, readers can't tell what or whom it refers to. A pronoun may be unclear if there is more than one noun to which the pronoun could be referring. For example, a clear one would be, the cliff dwellings at Mesa Verde were built by the ancestral Pueblo people. Unclear is, they show us what life was like there thousands of years ago. So if we just read the unclear sentence, they show us what life was like there thousands of years ago, we have no idea who they is. They could refer to cliff dwellings or to ancestral Pueblo people. We can fix the problem by changing the pronoun to the correct noun. So, clear, these dwellings show us what life was like there thousands of years ago. A pronoun may also be unclear if there is no noun to which the pronoun refers. Our days at Mesa Verde were long and full, and it taught us a lot. What taught us a lot? The days? Mesa Verde? Who knows? At home, people sometimes ask questions, and it was hard. Well, what was hard? You can fix the first sentence by replacing the pronoun with a noun phrase such as the trip. However, the second sentence might need a bit more work. So, from our days at Mesa Verde were long and full, and it taught us a lot, we can make it clearer by saying our days at Mesa Verde were long and full, and the trip taught us a lot. The next one, at home, people sometimes asked questions and it was hard. So clear it up, we can say at home, people asked questions that were hard to answer. Alright, we're going to practice. Read the paragraph, cross out each vague, unclear pronoun, and write your correction above it. You may want to revise more than the pronoun to make the sentence's meaning clear. In 1888, during a heavy snowfall near what is now Mesa Verde National Park, 2 cowboys saw walls and towers off in the distance. They were unusual and they decided to go explore them. So, they were unusual. What were the 2 cowboys unusual, or were the towers off in the distance unusual? From reading this, I'm going to say the towers off in the distance. So, instead of saying this, we're the towers, I cannot write it in there, but you guys can. The towers were unusual, and the cowboys decided to go and explore them. There's too many theys and thems in that sentence to know exactly what they're talking about. So now when it says, the towers were unusual and the cowboys decided to go and explore them, we know that we're talking about the cowboys going to explore the 2 towers, or the towers. I don't know how many towers there are. They found homes built right into the walls of the tall cliffs. So who found them? The cowboys found homes built right into the walls of the tall cliffs. They had ancient tools and pottery, and it was exciting. Now, what they is this they referring to? the Holmes had ancient tools and pottery, and it was exciting. So rereading it, it's going to say, in 1888, during a heavy snowfall near what is now Mesa Verde National Park, 2 cowboys saw walls and towers off in the distance. The towers were unusual, and the cowboys decided to go and explore them. The cowboys found homes built right into the walls of the tall cliffs. The homes had ancient tools and pottery, and it was exciting. Now this paragraph is clearer about which that pronoun is referring to. You're going to do the same thing in these multiple choice questions. Choose the revision that corrects the vague pronoun in each numbered sentence in the paragraph. Then you're going to go back to what you wrote in part 1 and circle any pronouns you used, and then reread to make sure someone reading your paper for the first time would understand who the pronoun is referring to. If they cannot, if it's like these, and if it's like this first text up here, go back and fix it, please. Alright, so that is all for writing and language arts for week 1. I hope to see all of you on Friday for Kahoot. I do believe it will be at 11 or 11:30 a.m. It is not decided yet, but we will make a decision later today, Wednesday afternoon. Alright, see you Friday.